Good day, everyone. Richard Cowperthwait for Northwest Access TV. Thanks for joining us. Happy to have alongside today St. Albans Mayor Tim Smith, also the Executive Director of the Franklin County Industrial Development Corporation. Good to see you, Mr. Mayor.
Hello, Richard. How are you?
I'm doing okay. What do you think? Pretty good summer for St. Albans? A lot of stuff going on. Farmers Market, I guess, goes through the last Saturday of October, in fact.
Yeah, no, I think the summer was very good despite the weekend weather that we had.
Yeah, some tough weather at times.
But I think a lot of activities in the park, concerts, as you said, farmers market, we just did the duck.
Oh, right, you're on hand for the duck.
Duck
I
race
guess I didn't win again. I did buy a couple tickets. Imagine that.
So that happened. The car show was great weather.
Yeah.
So overall, I think, and as I've told many people, the crime issue is much less than last year.
In fact, I heard you on WVMT a couple
did,
mornings. I should know we're taping this show on Friday, September 12th. So a much better summer
much
crime-wise.
better. I'm not saying it was great, or
Sure.
I'm not saying there weren't activity,
Sorry.
but the petty crime, the shoplifting, the car break-ins, the loitering was significantly less than what we experienced last summer.
Yeah.
And whether that's due to the work of the street crimes unit and the elimination of some of the drug activity, or we had hired an individual or two for the Parks Patrol.
Right.
I think that helped make a difference. So yeah, I think we made some good headway over last year.
Yeah. And
It's
police department fully staffed,
Yeah,
or
actually,
even
Dom said we're one over.
really?
So,
Boy, a lot of police departments would kill for that news.
yeah, and our officers are great and handle themselves very well. We had a bus downtown yesterday,
Really?
and I spoke to a couple folks. They were, I guess it was a aggregation of a lot of people, but they flew into Boston. The couple I spoke to was from Colorado,
Really?
and they came up yesterday, parked by the park, and let everyone out.
Really?
And they walked through downtown and had lunch and coffee and whatnot. And then they were leaving to go to Montreal and then to Quebec City. But just the fact that they chose St. Albans as their pit stop, if you will, it was great for downtown and the merchants for sure. So
Interesting.
it was a nice, I don't know that anyone knew they were coming. I happened to run into a few of them. So it's great for the community to have that, that level of tourism just pull into town. So
Talking about people coming into town, of course, makes me think of the passport agency situation. Any new news?
no,
Well, I guess did you ever hear why they wanted to move it out of St. Albans? Because
they
why
said they didn't-
should St. Albans get such a good thing?
yeah, they said they didn't have enough space. This is
Or
very
not enough space?
yeah for their staffing.
Huh.
It's very similar to if you remember, Morris's line was going to be
Sure. Going to be a
shut down.
big deal for a while.
And there was a big deal. A lot of energy went into it. The folks in
Yeah.
Franklin,
Yeah.
I can think of the select board and others were really engaged. And there was a town hearing with
Yeah.
I think it was Senator Welch or his people, or Senator Leahy and his people. And then all of a sudden, nothing. It's like it went away. And I
Yeah, it
think
did seem to just go away.
and the passport thing is very similar. The director had just left to take a new assignment. I had met with him before he left, and he said he didn't expect anything new on that front for probably a couple years. So we may hear about it again. Who knows with this administration or the next administration? Where their priorities are. I don't know. But as long as we'll take advantage of it, as long as they're there.
Geez, you think if the feds have went all the way up to the president, perchance, I suspect it doesn't, but hey, Franklin County, Mr. President, what more do you want? 13 local legislators are all Republicans.
Right, yeah.
Anyway, I suspect it might not get that far. So you're still not real optimistic about just a long-term future for it in St. Albans?
I wouldn't say I'm not optimistic. I think it's a lot of wait and see. I mean, if you look at the
Yeah.
Morse Line incident, I mean, that's like
Yeah.
totally off the radar, and nothing changed.
Yeah,
And I think that hopefully that's the case with the passport agency as
Yeah.
well.
it sounds like the congressional delegation has given that some attention for you.
Yeah, for sure. When Michelle Monroe left to take a new position, she was with Senator Welch's office. She was a great advocate for it.
Yeah,
But since Michelle left, I would say it's not on the front burner.
Yeah.
But we haven't pursued anything either. So
Yeah.
we're sort of letting, sleeping dogs lie, I guess.
Yeah, I guess there's still supposed to be anyway, a major renovation of the Highgate Springs port of entry
Yeah,
on
for
the
sure.
US side. I guess that sounds like that'll happen.
Yeah, well, Interstate 35 just opened up last week.
Oh, is that right? Thanks
Yeah.
for mentioning that.
It opened up,
Really?
I think, for our Labor Day, because we
Wow.
just missed it. We went up on Sunday
You just went up there, you just missed it.
and just missed it, but
Really?
I had to go back up. We went to Granby for the mayor's thing.
Right.
But we didn't, I-35 didn't take us to Granby, so we stayed. We ran parallel to it, and you could see cars on it, and they brought it right
Really?
down to,
That brings, right down
right to
into
that
Phillipsburg.
yeah, right to that cul-de-sac.
Yeah,
And,
wow.
yeah, it's gonna be a nice addition.
Gee, that's great. That's the first I had heard about that.
Yeah, it's all done, and
Huh.
so the travel, excluding any traffic you might run into,
Yeah.
you can probably hit Montreal in less than an hour.
Yeah, probably no more than an hour or
Yeah.
so. Then if
So-
you go out to the airport, as we talked off
Right,
air,
yeah.
add another half hour or so.
Or more.
Wow. Mention the mayor's meeting. I heard a little TV coverage on that, but got together with some or most of Vermont's mayors.
Yeah,
and
so there's 8 cities in Vermont, all have mayors. Some
and South
pay-
Burlington, that's funny. South Burlington is a city, but no mayor
No
in
mayor
South
on that
Burlington. It is a city, though, I think. I think there's a
guess-
city
probably,
council.
Yeah, probably,
Anyway,
yeah.
I think every other
Good
city
point.
has a mayor.
yeah. So they, the Vermont Leagues of Cities of Town, Director Ted Brady coordinated with
Huh.
his colleague across the border.
Yeah.
And as I said, 6 of the 8 went up to Granby. We were thoroughly impressed with Granby. I
Yeah.
don't know if you've been there.
I've been to the zoo, but it's been a while.
But they really invested in bike lanes and bike
Really?
paths.
Huh.
The lake is beautiful, and just a lot of nice travel amenities for tourists and whatnot.
Huh.
So we went there and we met with a couple individuals, or a few mayors from that side. The difference is their mayors, for the most part, are all paid.
I mean, they make even more money than you?
They make a little bit more than me,
I
but
love to ask people how much you make, and they're invariably stunned. I've even heard up to, I think, 25 grand or
Oh,
maybe
is that
even
right?
more. You wish, huh?
I wish, yeah. So,
Mayor, for the record, the St. Albans mayor, for folks who perchance don't know, gets no. Do you even get any benefits? I'm thinking you get a parking place by City Hall?
no,
don't
there
even
used
get
to be
that?
one. I
You
think
don't
when
even
Pete,
get that, huh?
when Pete Deloria was mayor, I think Pete had a sign on a
Wow.
meter.
So you get nothing. Is literally zero benefits? I mean, official kind of benefits?
I'm trying to think if I can think of any. I don't.
Right. Amazing.
I do have a little bit of an expenditure budget.
Oh, you do?
For like I might buy flowers for an opening business or
Oh, yeah.
someone who passed away.
Huh.
Yeah, so very very minor, but
Wow.
that usually goes. It definitely goes to something
Wow.
associated with the
Well,
job. for
I'm
sure.
one longtime city resident. I think this is ridiculous that you folks in the city council should get a few bucks, but anyway. So a good meeting in Granby?
Yeah, so I think the tricky part is, and I haven't advocated for this, but everything you read, everything you see that people want to do,
Yeah,
it's about bringing their tourists down here to spend money, right?
Right.
I mean, stores are hurting, but I don't think that comes off very well.
yeah.
We were asked a
I
question,
mean,
but
when people try to make that pitch to Quebec folks,
well, then there was a reporter up there who basically asked that question. So you want us, speaking from the Canadian side, you want us
Right.
come and spend money and
right,
And my take has always been, for us in Franklin County,
Yeah,
it's much more than that. It's, you've got cross-border families, you've
Sure.
got individuals who have married and had families
yeah,
that were born and raised on each side of the border. We have hockey teams coming down.
Right.
We have great relationships with Canadian businesses. Just
Boy, for a while, nothing I need to tell you. Seems like in my early years up here, going back, about 50 years now for me. But for a while, it seemed like the new industries coming in were invariably Canadian, Quebec-based.
still is still the case.
Is that right?
If you look at the genesis to Mylan Technologies, it was John again.
Barry Callebaut, of course,
Barry
comes to
Callebaut
mind.
was Van Houten and Zoon was a Canadian company. Peerless obviously is.
Yeah,
So
right.
there's Bariatrics, Calco and Swanton.
Yeah.
The list is long
Yeah.
of Canadian. And we, FCIDC, have a great relationship with all of them.
Yeah,
So it's more about helping them grow as well. It's not just,
yeah,
it's just not about attracting tourists and
yeah.
having them spend their money. I think it's a little disingenuous, but
Yeah.
but that's where the focus is, and the Canadians see through that. They understand. I mean,
Yeah.
we also have people that have camps on the lake or homes, year-round homes,
Sure.
and it's more than just spending money.
Yeah. Well, speaking of trying to get folks from Quebec or hoping they come down here once in a while, the tariff issue, I mean, got to think, I see stories once in a while. Sounds like traffic's definitely down significantly, seemingly, from,
Yeah, I mean, Canadians are pissed,
Yeah.
if I can say that. They are really taking it to heart as to
Yeah.
what the rhetoric was and all that. And a gentleman that I work with who owns one of the companies comes down, and he has close ties to Burlington and Chittenden County, and he talks to his friends who also came down on a regular basis, and he said, why don't you come on down? Let's go to Burlington. No, we're not. They just don't want anything to do with it.
yeah,
I heard season ski passes at Jay are down 30%.
oh boy, and of course Jay gets about typically half its business
Yeah.
from Quebec,
Yeah.
maybe some Ontario.
So they've stuck to their guns, if you will, and they've made it a hardship, but it's not anything that that message isn't going to get to Washington D.C. I don't think it's not anything that anyone would act on, as far as in my opinion, but
Yeah.
maybe I'm wrong.
Heard an interesting comment. I listened to CJAD, still a great station out of Montreal, AM 800. Just been a good station ever since I've been up here. Their afternoon talk show guy, Aaron Rand's very solid. But he happened to mention this the other day. Jean Charest, I don't know if that means former
I remember.
Quebec
Yeah.
premier from Quebec Conservative,
I think
and a solid guy.
Jim Douglas had a good
I
relationship
think,
with
yeah,
him.
I think he's had good relationships. So whenever he was in power with Jim, maybe even Howard Dean, maybe not Dick Snelling, but a real solid guy. But he made a comment that Aaron Rand picked up on. Interesting comment, and I don't know who he was talking to, but said, hey, 20 years from now or so, Canadians may be happy that Donald Trump did what he did. And his point was he thought just Canada had gotten just kind of too complacent, had just kind of lost its identity in part. And with the controversy about Trump and the tariffs, Canada seemingly is, it's a huge issue. Listening to Canadian media, they're so, as you said, so upset about the U.S. and stuff. But he thought that was, in a way, bringing Canada together and just making Canada do more of its own stuff and not being so reliant on the U.S. But
good point.
interesting comment, but I just feel bad for local businesses that are certainly taking a hit these days.
But I would say that
Yeah.
there are some folks who, depending what sector or industry they're in,
Yeah,
they think the Trump discussion is long overdue.
yeah.
Whether it's lumber, whether it's milk, whether it's a number of things.
I hear that once in a while
Yeah.
from Canadians.
And I haven't really dug into that, but
Yeah.
I think there's some balance was needed. I'm not saying it was a heavy overload to
Yeah.
the Canadian side, but I think
Yeah.
there's a number of people who thought or do think that there could be some corrections in in some industries like lumber.
Yeah.
So it's no.
Yeah, no, I hear that comment every once in a while
No.
anyway.
It's ongoing discussion.
Yeah. Boy, I just heard this at the Champlain Country Club. Mike Swim mentioned this a couple days, but I guess we just lost Kenny Fairchild.
Kenny Fairchild, yeah. I
Wow.
haven't, I have to get over and see Gene. I stood and talked with Kenny at the football game Friday night
Right, is that right?
for probably an hour.
Really?
Him and his daughter Katie, and
Wow.
he stole my chair that I was
Oh, is that right?
when I went to the snack bar because he commented that he had walked 15 miles that day.
It's what I was going to say. I mean, I'm so impressed with Kenny. He would walk by my house. I was told he walked 5 miles a day. I would have
Yeah.
guessed maybe a lot more than that.
Yeah, 10 I
Is that
think was the
right? But I
common
would
number.
always see him walking. He'd walk past my house once in a while. I'd grab him. We'd talk basketball, but talk about someone who took, good care of himself with his walking.
Yeah.
So, geez, tough news.
Yeah, no, it's sad. He dedicated
How many years is BFA boys basketball coach? We're talking a lot of years.
I want to say 25,
I
30.
would have said
I
20 plus. Yeah.
He was when I was
Wow.
a freshman in '74. He came. He was here. That was his first year from Norwich.
Wow.
So 30 years would have only put him at early 2000,
Wow.
and I think he left and came back too
Oh,
at
is that
some
right?
point.
Huh.
But yeah, and to this day, like I said, he was at the football game. He was at all the basketball games, boys and girls.
Yeah.
He had a good, a good feel for the sports community in the
Yeah.
region. So yeah, it was it's too bad.
Yeah. Tough news. Boy, Tim, so you're in, I have to think how many terms you've been in. I heard you say on radio, well into your 8th year as mayor.
8th year, yeah.
Well, gee, feel free to make some news. I'm sure you've given some thought to a possible 5th term. Pondering that?
It's
Is
under
that
deliberation, yeah.
under deliberation? So can't get any hard news out
No,
of you today?
no, not yet, no.
But you're certainly not ruling it out anyway.
I'm
At
not-
some point, were you thinking four terms might be enough, or
Well,
or 3 terms?
I thought, well, Marty Manahan and Liz Gamache both did 3 terms.
They did
and
3.
I think when I got into this high paying business, I thought I could make enough money off 6 years. But it's been no 2 years have been the same.
I bet.
As I've told many people, you had when I first started, it was economic development. It was it was the Ace Hardware store. It was the Congress and Main buildings. That's what the focus was. And then you had we sort of moved towards social justice with the George Floyd activities and
Yeah.
defund the police and all that stuff. So that the next 2 years were that.
Yeah.
And then we moved into COVID for
Oh.
2.5 years, and now we sort of moved into the homeless, vagrancy stuff.
Yeah.
So it's been
Interesting.
that's how I view it.
Yeah.
8 years is sort of what, and not that one doesn't bleed into the other, but
Well, you got to be feeling better. As you said, the crime issue seems to be, at least
Yeah.
in better, that's got to be making you feel better, obviously.
yeah.
And Dominic, you've had, I guess, the very good fortune of having the same city manager
no.
who's been around twice as long as you as
Yeah,
mayor,
no
just
doubt.
about.
He mentioned 17 years.
Yeah, that's,
so we're
I
very
interviewed
fortunate.
Dominic a while back, but he's got to be one of about the most veteran city manager in the
I was
state.
just thinking, I'm curious as to what Bill was, Chaffee.
Boy, boy, I'm
was
thinking
there
Bill,
for-
15 to 20 maybe or so. Does that sound? I'll
Uh,
lose track of,
He was there in '83.
sounds
I don't
about
know
right.
how long he went. So yeah, 20 years probably, 20,
Yeah.
22.
Wow,
So,
wow.
yeah, so yeah, there's been an interesting 8 years.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm glad things are better, at least on some fronts anyway.
Yeah.
I think of the governor too. Boy, had Governor Phil Scott been still stuck from his point of view with a Democratic supermajority, with all his vetoes being overridden, something tells me he might be gone or almost gone. But Have you got any sense? Do you think the governor's still got some time left?
Everyone seems to think he's gonna do another
Yeah,
term.
yeah, that
I
wouldn't
mean,
surprise
not
me.
everyone that I think would have enough interaction with him and a feel for it, but I
Yeah.
think many think that he will do another 2 years.
Yeah,
So, but for us, I think, people are still concerned about the real estate we buy.
yeah,
I've asked the city manager to come up with a spreadsheet which shows what we bought, what we did to improve it, what was the appraised value when we started, what was it, and what the impact of the grand list is, both in value and in generating property taxes.
and speaking of which, the city recently bought with the St. Albans Messenger
Well,
building.
St. Albans Mesh, and that's what's generated a lot of the discussion, a lot of
That's right.
people.
So are the plans for that, or you got a hard and solid
No,
plan?
I think we're holding on to it and trying to clean up some other stuff,
Yeah.
and then we'll focus on it. But it's, a lot of people don't realize that if the city didn't do what they did, and people complained about their taxes going up,
Yeah,
as bad as it may have been
Yeah.
with the reappraisal,
yeah. I
it
was
would have been
gonna-
substantially more if we didn't expand the grand list to the levels that we have.
Yeah,
I mean, all that new development, that offsets the tax, the tax dollars that are generated.
yeah,
And if we didn't have Congress in Maine, made in American House, Courthouse, I mean, the tax bill would have been, unaffordable for a lot of people. So,
the reappraisal, we talked maybe last show about that or off air, but were you surprised? Again, yeah, my
I was
house.
I was surprised.
Yeah, my house more than doubled. I think you weren't too far. I guess the average was almost doubling, like.
You're talking value now.
Sorry, yeah, the appraised
Yeah,
for the
the
tax.
appraised value, mine went up 2.15%,
Okay,
I
I
think.
think I was right about that same ballpark.
And my taxes,
I didn't do the
just-
percentage, boy, my taxes certainly went up. They didn't
I didn't-
double, but
my increase was 2,300.
that sounds roughly the same. to
So
me.
substantial. And
Yeah.
I tell people, and friends of mine, my brother, others have their tax bills 10,000. I've never viewed St. Albans as a $10,000
Yeah.
tax community.
Yeah,
5,000, yeah.
yeah,
And the city takes a bad rap because we're the ones, when we're pushing back or having conversations about why someone's taxes are so high,
yeah,
no one from the school board is sitting next to us. No one from
right.
supervisory union is sitting next to
and
us.
of course, schools are roughly three quarters of
Three,
one's
right.
bill.
Two-thirds to three-quarters,
Yeah.
yeah. So we take the heat.
Yeah,
If it was, take my bill's 8,400 or whatever,
yeah,
of which 3,000 is the city. I have no problem paying 3,000
Yeah.
to the city of St. Albans for
Yeah.
what we have and what we get.
yeah,
And I think the town is going through a reappraisal, if not this coming year, next year.
yeah,
And town residents may or may not be in the same situation. Time will tell.
yeah,
But the rumblings are that I think they will see a substantial increase.
yeah.
And
Well,
what caused it, just sorry to interrupt you,
That's
Richard, but
okay.
what caused ours was just that there was a decline in commercial affordable,
Yeah.
not apartment, but office buildings
Yeah.
because of COVID. Office isn't what it used to be, retail's, so that dropped, and you have to make that value up someplace. And because you had all the high-end sale prices, above appraised value,
Yeah,
that's where the impact was. So the housing picked up the slack from the drop in commercial value.
city's population still around 7,500, or am I even a little
No,
high,
I
maybe?
think you're high. I think we're.
A little
I
over
think
to
we're-
7,000
I think we're
still?
lucky to push 7,000.
Is that right? Of
Yeah.
course, St. Albans Town has become the
So,
largest
yeah, I think
municipality in the county.
I think they've jumped to 73, 74
Yeah,
maybe. but-
interesting.
And growing.
I assume Franklin County for years I was saying we were close to 50,000. Not sure
Oh,
I've
yeah,
seen the
yeah.
number. We're a little over
Yeah, a
50,000, I
little over
assume.
50. We were 49 for a while, and then the
Right.
most recent census, we were put over 50,
Yeah.
50 and some change.
And I guess certainly one of the minority of counties in Vermont that's increasing. I guess
Yeah,
with
no,
with
for
Chittenden,
sure.
maybe Lamoille too, but
Yeah, southern counties are losing population.
yeah,
So, I just
Get
want to
into
mention,
whatever you want to,
Yeah, I
you got
would just
5
wa-
minutes.
wanted to mention, I'm rolling it out sort of in my mayor's message,
Yeah,
and then I hope to get it in the American Legion newsletter.
yeah,
Excuse me, and that is, City of St. Albans is late to the game relative to the banners honoring our veterans,
yeah.
and we're going to be moving forward with that.
I do see that in certain places, I guess. That's a nice touch.
Swanton did it. They had,
Yeah,
from my understanding, they had 80 applicants
oh,
for
really?
that.
Wow,
This summer, I drove down I was on 22A and then moved to 22.
yeah,
22A sort of jumps into New York
I
pretty
know
quick.
it well.
Yeah, so all those towns along that route all had banners
Huh,
up. And I'm embarrassed to say we should have been doing it a long time ago.
huh,
So I'm reaching out to the towns to try to get their applications, see what they're doing,
great.
instead of reinventing the wheel.
huh,
And yeah, hope to work with the VFW and the American Legion to get the word out. And my hope, it's just me, I'm open to suggestions, but I hope to open it up for deceased veterans first,
Yeah.
followed by retired, and then active duty. I'm not sure how many polls we have to put them up on, but we definitely want to start the process. And then we will put them up for the month of November and the month of May.
yeah, that
So-
sounds like a nice initiative.
Yeah, so I think Swantons are still up after they did theirs back, I think, for Veterans Day. But I think we're going to try to, insert them for the month of November and May.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a nice, nice project.
So,
Health of downtown, again, retail, obviously, you don't hear a whole lot of high praise for retail, but downtown hanging in reasonably well. or-
seems to be.
Yeah. Of course, we got a new restaurant across from City Hall finally here, huh?
Yeah, and they've been packed.
Is that
and,
right?
reservations are,
Wow,
I don't, if you don't call in a timely fashion, you
Really?
won't get in for a week.
huh, is that right?
Yeah,
Adam and A finally getting
yeah.
going.
I've heard nothing but good reports on food.
And is Nourish, the Nourish spot, is that coming? Seems like
gonna
Dominic
be-
mentioned that would come back to life.
Yeah, that's the plan.
That's the plan.
We're wrapping up the 8 apartments upstairs, and then we're selling the building to the new restaurant owner.
Yeah.
Is what the plan is.
Huh.
So we'll recoup all the money we invested in that. We'll create 8 new apartments downtown,
Huh.
nice apartments.
Yeah,
And then we'll establish another restaurant. So
yeah. Makes me think of Cathedral Square, which I want to quickly mention. In fact, ribbon cutting about to come up.
October 6th, I'm out of
October
town. I
6th.
won't be there, but the city manager will be and others.
And what, 34 units?
32, 34.
32,
Yeah,
34.
I lose
Senior
track.
55 and over, I guess.
Yep,
for-
yep.
And Cathedral Square, it sounds like those guys have a very good
they have
reputation.
a good track record for
Yeah.
sure. We've never had an issue down on the corner of North Elm and Lower Newton.
Right. And the city, you're still looking at some housing nearby, a project near there?
Yeah. Still working through details on it, but yeah,
Yeah.
it would be additional housing next to Cathedral Square.
Yeah. 175 Lake Street, are they fearing any? I know it's been tough to just kind of get people in there.
Yeah,
for-
no, it's dealing with the federal government and federal
Yeah.
tax credits and getting applications vetted and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it is a longer process than anyone anticipated.
Yeah,
City manager thought they were about 70% full, so they're getting there.
yeah,
So that's moving forward.
yeah.
Yeah, so, but I was gonna say, the town has become more of sort of a vintage destination.
Yeah.
You know, we have 3 vintage shops downtown. There's a nice
Oh,
one
right.
in the Highgate Commons.
I love shops like that.
Yeah.
I live on shops like that.
Have you been to the one in Highgate Commons?
I've been, that one I know, yeah, I know
Yeah,
that one.
That one's very, very nice, very
Yeah.
good selection of
Yeah,
items.
it's nice they moved across the way there and got a lot more room. They were pretty cramped in their first location out there.
Oh, is that right?
They're on the other side by Pizza Hut,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah.
And then, and they're all working together. There's a page of, lists all the destinations that
Yeah.
people can visit.
Yeah,
And they're each sharing it, I believe. And then you've got the areas of it's becoming a foodie destination. I
Yeah.
think, go ahead.
I guess on that note, we'll call it a day,
Yeah.
but sounds like some still decent life downtown.
For sure.
Anyway,
For sure.
thanks to St. Albans Mayor Tim Smith for joining us. Thanks to my producer, Alan Cunningham. I'm Richard Cowperthwait. Thanks for dealing with us here on Northwest Access TV. See you next time.